The Power Hour with John Lee.
Welcome to the Power Hour. I'm John Lee, joined in the studio by Mr. Pedro Laguna. Today we're going to be talking about the media, and not necessarily in a good way. We're not talking about all you wonderful, intrepid, investigative reporters and journalists out there. We're talking about what we call the paparazzi, the yellow press, the pink press, the predatory press, you might call them. I would like to start with a case in point that I've selected, and that is Amy Winehouse. Of course, you know, Pedro, that Amy Winehouse was one of the most talented, or well, at least in my opinion, one of the most talented musicians we've seen.
Yeah, sure.
In the last 2 or 3 decades. Tell me what you remember about the last couple of years of her life.
Yeah, I remember, like you said, being a big star. She was great in all the ways, amazing voice, even the rhythm that she got. She was an amazing musician. But like you said, maybe all the memories that are coming to my mind are more connected to the decadence of her last period, you know, when she was on drugs and having a lot of problems. I remember all the media all the time talking about her involved in different strange situations. Every time I was listening to something about her, it wasn't connected to a good concert. It was connected to what she did in the concert. Strange episodes all the time.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I mean, I remember stories about her personal life that you're always going to get with a boyfriend, if the, you know, whether she was with the boyfriend or she wasn't with the boyfriend, and all that kind of stuff, and that always happens. But there were much more serious stories, and I just want to show you a picture, if Fabian can get this picture up for me, of Amy Winehouse. Now you look at that picture.
Yeah.
What can you see there?
Well, I can see a person with a lot of problems, really big problems. She's total loose in this picture. She doesn't look the person she was. And she looks like having a really bad time. Maybe very connected with drugs.
Yeah, but exactly. When you see, sometimes you see somebody who's having a lot of drugs, you can, you know, look at Ozzy Osbourne or whatever, and any of these great British rockers who might be vampires because they just will not die.
Probably.
You know, and they look like they're having a great time.
Yeah.
Keith Richards looks like he's having a brilliant time. You know, and Mick Jagger and these people, they're all on tremendous amounts of drugs all the time, and they look like they're really enjoying it.
Yeah.
She looks like a victim in this picture.
Yeah, she doesn't look like being enjoying so much. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I would say that she looks like somebody who needs an intervention. If a member of my family or a friend of mine came to my house looking like that, then I would bring them into my house and start thinking about which phone numbers I'm going to use, and which hospital I'm going to take her to.
Yeah. I don't know what they took this picture, but she was probably very close to her final days.
Yeah, I would say so. And here's the point I get to with this is that I think that the press were culpable. Not completely. I don't think they killed her. I don't think they assassinated her. But I think they certainly contributed to her death because they made it impossible for her to leave her house. And if you've got a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction, and a couple of £1 million, and you can't leave the house, what are you going to do all day?
Yeah, you're completely right. Yeah. I don't have addictions. I mean, at least not illegal addictions, let's say. But I always heard that it's very complicated to go out from this period and from these states. So I can imagine if in a normal situation it's very complicated. Maybe when you are surrounded about people that you trust, professionals, a good life, and even with this, you see that some people can't go out from where they are. I can imagine how to go out from this point if you are surrounded about the opposite that you should be surrounded with, all these people, making this atmosphere impossible to escape, with this pressure all the time. Yeah, for sure, it didn't help her.
It didn't help her. And then we come to the case of Britney Spears. And when you think of Britney Spears, most people wouldn't compare the Britney Spears story to the Amy Winehouse story for several reasons. One, the obvious one being that they're two completely different kinds of entertainer.
Yeah.
In terms of vocal talent, there's no comparison. But in terms of fan base, in terms of selling tickets, albums, I don't know what the statistics are, but Britney Spears was very, very successful.
Sure.
I want you to see a video now. If Fabian can cue me the video, if you could show me the video, please.
This spasm of publicity about what happened from Mexico to London.
It was pretty rough, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Ah, weird. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Britney.
What's your reaction to that, Pedro?
I want the same. I want to try the same. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, she looks like crazy. With who is she talking?
She's in an interview with Diane Sawyer, which is very mainstream American media. You're famous, sit in a chair, have a conversation, and we're going to ask you some personal questions type interview. The kind of thing she's been doing all her life. Yeah. And for some reason, she has a complete break with reality, as you can see during the interview, and seems to have no idea where she is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, she looks like being talking with someone else that nobody can see but her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then she returns to reality shortly after that. So we can hypothesize and theorize in part 2 about that. But I just wanted to show you that so you could get an idea of what I think the impact of fame can be. We'll see you in part 2. Thank you very much.